Tell you the difference between brandy and whiskey. Brandy is made from fruit and whiskey is made from grains. So you have, on the whiskey side, you have barley, corn, rye, all of those types of grains make whiskey. With brandy, you can pretty much make brandy out of any fruit. You have apple brandy, grape brandy, which most people know as cognac. You have mango brandy, plum brandy. Any fruit with a high sugar content, you're able to make brandy out of it. Well, according to the TTB, who regulates and governs the alcohol industry, Applejack and apple brandy are synonymous. Most people equate Applejack to the old production process in colonial times, before stills were common and available to most people. What most people did was they took their cider and let it ferment naturally, and as it would ferment, you would get your natural yeast and natural alcohol content up higher. So they would leave the cider fermenting in these barrels, and then in the winter, they would leave the barrels outside, and water has a lot lower freeze point than alcohol. So the water would freeze into ice, and the next morning, the colonists would remove the ice from the barrel and do that overnight. And after a while, the alcohol content would get higher and higher in the barrel. That process was called jacking. So they were jacking cider, they were jacking apples, and that is how Applejack first got its name. That process is not as refined and doesn't result in as great of a product as the apple brandy you make with a still. So it's very harsh. It's definitely not suited for today's consumer. So the jacking process is rarely used anymore. It's a process we don't use anymore. That's how Applejack got its name. But like I said, Applejack and apple brandy are synonymous.